Thanks for joining us today on this episode of Wide Open Outdoor Adventures. I'm Dave Valtierra. On today's episode, we're going to fish the Corpus Christi area. We're going to fish this brand new Gulf Coast 22 from Gulf Coast Marine. We're looking for some serious, hot, summer rod bending action. Don't miss this. Fish on. Staying up, we're fishing the flats here. Oh no, flounder! There we go. Not what I expected, but an awesome flounder here in the flats. Great eating here. I'm working this corner of the pocket because then my line will drape by the wind across the pocket, and then as I work it, it brings it into the pocket. So a little cast like this, stop it with my hand, close the bail. Now the bait's right where I want it, but that drape in the line is critical because that won't pull it over into the grass, it pulls it across the pocket where I can work more of that zone. So think about where your bait positioning is, where your placement is, and then what is your line going to do? Where is it going to take it as you pop it and work that bait? Let him settle in. Popping. Oh yeah, he's fluttering. There we go. Fish on. Now what happened there is that fish was coming to the boat. That fish was coming to the boat. Look how green this fish is. You can tell a trout when they're feeding down in the grass, when they've got a lot of green hue to them. And we're fishing the sandy pockets adjacent to the grass. Oh, yellowmouth. I'm Dave Valtierra with Wide Open Sportsman. I've been an outdoorsman for over 30 years. I'm at home in the outdoors. My background and my experience enable me to be more successful at hunting, fishing, and adventure. Come learn with me. Sharpen your skills and come up that learning curve fast. Subscribe today and get notifications of future video uploads. Just do it. Another scenario, the fish is swimming off with the bait. I haven't set the hook yet. We'll put it on him right now. Another trout. You know, some people use a net. I've got one. For a really big fish, I'll use a net, but just a quick up and in works great. Another healthy speckled trout. You know, the name of the game really is moving around, and we're anchored up here in this flat, and we're just going to pull the anchor up and drift down a little bit. So the bottom line is I like to use a big heavy rope. Look how thick this rope is. It's not that we need a rope this strong, it's just easier on your hands. But I pull in the anchor, and I got a chain on here to hold that anchor down. And this is a rock anchor, but it works good in the grass with a boat that's not too heavy. But basically, I pull my anchor in, kind of maintain the chain so it doesn't make a lot of noise, and just let the boat drift downwind. I've set myself up for a nice drift along this flat. We've probably got about a half a mile here, so we started upwind. We've moved 2 times already. This is the 3rd move. So right now, basically, I'm just drifting downwind. But again, I position the boat in an area where I got nice potholes, sandy zones and grassy zones all along the way here. So I drift on down, put the anchor back in, and get fishing. And so I like what I'm seeing right here. Again, quiet. Stealth is the name of the game. So pick up your anchor and control the situation, and then just quietly put it in the water. I've got it tied off here already on the cleat. You can see the ropes going out in the water, and then it's going to hang. I'm ready to fish. I got a fish taking the bait. Set the hook. Catch up with him. Another trout. Another troutski. Quick up and in. Pretty good fish. See, this fish was actually running toward the boat. Better fish. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the anchor in real quick. Got my length of my rope set already. Good speckled trout. I was drifting across this flat, and basically this fish was taking my line. I could see my line going up current, upwind. And I knew, oh, yellowmouth, right there. Good fish. I'll show you a little bit about how I hook a croaker with a size 5 mustad croaker style hook. See that lateral line right there? I like to come into the body about this far, and I put the hook right between my 2 fingers so I can push it through and be in control, because he's going to flutter around just like that and draw in the bite. I then drop down the line, you know, about 4 feet. That way I get a little whip in my cast. And then I get up on the front of the boat and let it just cast it straight up and let the wind take it. And then when it lands, I move back into position, I take up a little slack, and I wait. He's going to swim down in that grass. Then I'm going to pop it, just very little bit. Very light pop, 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 pop. And then I'm going to wait, maybe a half a turn. I feel him. I feel him right now. He's donk, 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 donk. Now, I don't feel anything. So I'm going to do like a 1 crank and pop, pop, pop till I feel him again. I want to keep that bait out of the grass. I want to keep him up and moving. Pop, pop, pop. Wait, feel for him. There's a lot of connection between you and the bait when you're fishing with croaker or piggy or any live bait. I'm using 40-pound braided line. There's no stretch. So I can feel exactly what's going on at the end of the line. There he is, flutter, flutter, wait. Because when he's fluttering, he's drawing in that bite. He'll make sparkle, shimmy, vibrations in the water, and noise. He'll probably be croaking, making some noise at that time, and fish will come in from the vicinity and come in and investigate. But you have to stay in contact with the bait. You see some people with their rod down, they're kind of talking, whatever. No, this is a game where you just kind of keep working that bait. And don't move it much, because you want them fish to be able to isolate where he's at. I didn't have any time on that one. Oh, and he spit the bait. Wait a minute. He took it back. Awesome. Awesome. He spit the bait, and then he swam off, and he came back and got, this is a good fish. This is a good fish. Up and in. Oh yeah. Look at the size of this one. We're going to measure this one up. Come on, buddy. This is a good fish. Look at that speckled trout. The bite is on. All right, looks like we've got a 19-inch trout. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. I got a serious thump. I'm gonna put rod down to the water and set the hook. Fish on. This is a better fish. Where's he at? Oh yeah, shaking the head. Now that's why I fish. Rod bend in action. Oh, he's going by the side of the boat. Oh, he's taking me around the boat. There he is, good fish. Another really good caliber fish. on, buddy. All right. All right. Another really good caliber fish in the upper Laguna Madre. All right, today's pro tip of the day. We fished for trout with croaker, but one critical component is to make sure your bait stays alive. We use a portable oxygen system that has a regulator, and I set it at 1/32. That's the flow through the regulator to this line, and it goes to my diffuser. A setup like this can be a little expensive, but I tell you what, when you buy live bait, if it dies, so does your fishing day. So the pro tip of the day is to make sure that you have a system like this. We borrow boats from Gulf Coast Marine like this new Gulf Coast 22. It doesn't have these systems built in yet. I can't drill holes in here and run something like this. This is somebody else's new boat. They'll have to decide what they want. But at the end of the day, a system like this can make sure that your fishing day is productive. Quick additional tip, make sure these oxygen lines don't get pinched. So you may want to rope tie like I did here. Rope tie this door closed, but don't pinch the line. Knowledge is power in the wide open outdoors. Do you like inshore fishing? Comment below and stay in touch with the Wide Open crew. We'll give you tips and techniques to make you even better. Do it. Rod tip down to the water. Set the hook. He's swimming again, left to right. These fish are patterned. I basically let them take the bait. Oh, a decent fish. Up and in. Come on, buddy. Another amazing speckled trout. Let me kind of reel down and see what I got. Uh-oh, I think he's swimming toward me. He is. I'm reeling line. There's nothing there. I'm gonna catch up with him. And I'm gonna set the hook. Yep, fish on. Good fish. Good fish. Did you see how that fish bit? He picked that bait up. Oh, there he is. He picked that bait up. Oh. And then he went running off with it. Oh, look at him shaking the head. I'm gonna net this guy. Woo, good fish. Oh, in the net. Oh, that's a good fish. Let's just kind of show you this fish in the net. I don't want to touch him too much because I'm going to release him, but it's a beautiful fish. Look at that trout. Healthy fish, not a scratch on him. I've got a pretty neat oxygen system that I rigged temporarily on this boat that I borrowed from Gulf Coast Marine. You can see that I've got a net that has a floating handle. So that's great. It just floats in the live well. It won't go down so you don't have to fish it out and find it. Try to catch really one croaker at a time because they have protective slime on them like all fish do. And you don't want that protective slime to be worn off if you're not going to use them. So if you catch 3 or 4 at the same time, they're going to end up rubbing off that slime as they bang around on each other. Again, I put the hook through the lateral line, and then he does his wiggle around technique and draw in the bite. So having a good live well, a good oxygen system will keep your bait alive. Here we go again. I got a fish. He's taking line. I'm going to close the hatch, aim the rod to the fish, and set the hook. I let him run because these croaker are pretty big. We're fishing the end of August, and these fish take a little effort to get that croaker down and to set the hook. All of that is a timing thing, and so you've got to give the fish some time. Got to give them some time to get that bait down. I just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, up and in. Nothing prettier than that. Let me give you a tip of the day. Trout typically spend all of their life within 1 to 2 miles of where they were born. And so in 1979, Louisiana research team tagged 2,600 specks. 90% of them were found within 1 mile of where they tagged them. Amazing. It's like that friend that you knew in high school. He grew up in the same town, went to high school, and never left that same town. Awesome fish. Do you fish Corpus Christi? Click subscribe. We'll make you a better angler. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. I'm going to feel for him. Yeah, all right. Let's set the hook. Swimming toward the boat. Kind of keep up with him. Another decent fish. Up and in. Speckled trout day today on Wide Open Outdoor Adventures. Here we go again. Here we go again. I'm letting him take line, closing the hatch, point the rod to the fish. He's still taking line. Set the hook. All right. Oh, busting water, Mr. Troutsky. Today's been the trout day on Wide Open Outdoor Adventures. You know, I targeted trout by fishing this depth of water, etc. But I didn't really know what I was going to catch, because you can catch redfish right in the same area. All right, good fish, good fish. Quick up and in. What I like to do is save the rod tip, grab the line, up and in. Beautiful fish. Look at this. Look at this fish. All right, obviously this is a good speckled trout. But take a look at the iridescent sheen and the many black spots on the dorsal and tail fin. They're always spotted. They have yellow pigment in their mouth and 1 or 2 large, sharp canine teeth that are located in front of the upper jaw. Some people call these speckled trout yellowmouth or specks, or lastly, they sometimes call them spotted sea trout. Here's the tip of the day. If you want to catch trout in the summertime, find high salinity water. If you want to catch speckled trout in the wintertime, find low salinity water. Like I always say, knowledge is power in the Wide Open Outdoor Adventures. Old Yellowmouth. Letting him take line. Hot summer fishing, man. I'm sweating, but it's rod bending action. I'm going to catch up with him. I like to reel the rod pointed right at him. Set the hook. Awesome. Awesome. Now, Tony, shoot out there. I cast in that pothole. There's a gray or beige area, and I cast straight into that, but up to the adjacent to the grass, so not right in the middle, although you can do that. But I caught this fish on the edge of the pocket. He's staying down. Oh, look at this, good fish. Look at that, shake the head. Typical trout movement. Look at that, shaking the head. That's how he's trying to get that hook out, shake that head. But not today, buddy, because I keep a constant movement on him. Bring him toward the boat, toward the boat, toward the boat, grab the line, up and in. And then put the old gorilla grip on him from underneath. Come on now, baby. There we go. Wata! Now that's a speckled trout. An awesome speckled trout in the Laguna Madre. Sweet. All right, buddy. You ready to fight another day?
Today on Wide Open Outdoor Adventures, we fished using a Gulf Coast 22-foot bay boat. It has a 94-inch beam. It can carry 6 passengers and has a maximum horsepower of 225. It features a self-bailing deck, rear casting deck, 45-gallon fuel tank, large rear storage box with an aluminum leaning post. Gulf Coast Boats, the Texas boat for the Texas bays.
Thanks for spending some time with us today on this episode of Wide Open Outdoor Adventures. I'm Dave Valtiera. We ran this brand new Gulf Coast 22. It caught some good fish. We put in a Corpus Christi and fished the upper Laguna Madre. We worked these awesome barrier islands. They do hold fish. I hope you learned a few things. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in a wide open outdoor adventure.